And I honestly don't believe it. I had a deal when I first started real estate where we were set to close on like a Monday, and my seller passed away over the weekend, and I missed that closing. And I was supposed to make 20 grand, and it was terrible. But Kyle said he actually has a worse story than that.
So one of my first deals, it was actually my second deal ever. I went to go to the house. It was the first time I checked out the house. They had done the roof, they did the AC, they did the hot water heater, they did everything. Super nice disabled guy.
Like remodeling it?
Yeah, so they did the whole exterior they did, and the only messed up part about the exterior, they had like solar panels too. The only messed up thing about the exterior was the pool screen was missing every single panel, not just like one panel here and there is ripped. It was every single panel was gone, and the pool was drained, and there was like frogs in there and stuff. But anyway, the house was disgusting on the inside. They were like smoking in there, and it was gross. But they were both disabled, older people. I don't know if he was a veteran or something, but he was missing a leg, and he was in a wheelchair and stuff, so he was just disabled. And that was the first time I went. I checked it out. And then I went back a second time to take some photos. And when I went back the second time to take some photos, I was talking with the guy. He was really nice. He was a really nice guy. He was like, "Oh, you remind me of my grandson." And all of a sudden he paused. And I'm like, we're like looking around. I looked at his like wife. I looked at the agent that was helping with the deal. And I'm like, "Hey, Tom, are you okay, man?" And he was like, just paused there. I don't know if you guys have been seeing videos face. Lately of who's that senator, the senator that's been pausing.
Joe Biden?
Oh, yeah, that's another one. I mean, he's having strokes every second. But anyway.
That's our prez.
But yeah, he just paused, and we were sitting there for like a good 30 seconds, and then he's like, "I don't feel good." And then I was like, all right, Tom, we'll leave you alone. And then, so I left, and then 20 minutes later, the agent called me, and she like apologized and everything, and said, "Well, after you left, we called the ambulance, like, and they said he had like a stroke or some mini type of stroke." I was like, damn, like, and they were in pre-foreclosure, and
man.
You know, it was just a rough deal, man. And then, of course, title issues showed up like the day of closing on that deal, the same deal. And this is standard. Like, you need a good title company because for some reason the title company didn't have the payoff for the solar panels. Okay. They didn't have the payoff for the solar panels on the day of closing. So I had to go find the company and call the solar panel company, and have them send a payoff to the title company. And the agent was all mad at me, and it came back on me because everything will come. If you're the buyer in the transaction, or if you're actually buying it or you're wholesaling it, and you know, typically the agent or the sellers don't know that, everything comes back on you. It all falls back on you. So title issues, anything like that, because buyer picks titles, so everything falls back on you. So all of a sudden you're the bad guy in the transaction.
Absolutely. The same thing happened. I've never had, like I said, the stroke. That's crazy. Did he survive?
Yeah, he survived. I heard from them a few months later because I guess my end buyer, he never switched the water into his name, which fell back on me again. But I heard he was living with a family member, and I think he was okay.
That's crazy. I think, let's talk about title companies. Title companies will either save your deal or they will torch your deal.
Absolutely.
And it's not even save your deal. Like, they'll help you make money on the deal, or they will torch your deal. And it's one or the other. So if you do deals over and over and you like continued business, you find good ones that actually close business, because the bad ones, they will torch your deal, and it's not your fault. It is your fault as the wholesaler.
Yeah, 100% for not picking the right title company.
For not picking the right title company. And it's all your fault, 100%. Because even a deal right now, we're dealing with a wholesaler. We had to get amendments and all this stuff. Guess who has to fix all the amendments? You do, because you're the original wholesaler who made contact with the seller.
Yep. So
you as a wholesaler need to understand that you are a part of the transaction until it finishes, and everything falls on you.
Yep.
If you want to get paid at closing, you better fix those amendments. You better fix the shit with the title company. Mm-hmm. You better do whatever needs to be done, or else you're not going to get paid at all, because you're the original contact. And me as the buyer of the wholesale contract, I can't step in and do what you're doing because technically you're the buyer.
Yeah, exactly. And that takes me back, you know, I had another buyer complain about title fees.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. You want to ask the right questions when you're looking for a good title company. You want to ask the right questions and get a fee sheet and stuff like that, because then let's say, you start some sort of online coaching or maybe a Facebook group or something, and people are starting to ask you what title company you're using, and then you're promoting a title company, and then your end buyers are saying it's expensive, and then your students or your Facebook group, their end buyers saying it's expensive, they're having a problem. So it's just
you gotta take the good with the bad. So like me, honestly, I don't really look at the cost of the title fee. I honestly don't even pay attention.
Right.
I use the state of title company for mostly all my transactions, and her price is just her price because I know she gets stuff done.
right.
And I don't think I've ever once compared her price to other people's price because she gets deals done.
Yeah, might be a junk collector thing.
I don't know. I've never looked. I've never even looked at the price of what they charge. Honestly, I really don't.
Well, I think when you start to deal with larger transactions too, it starts to become more of a fractional, minimal thing as opposed to houses. It's like it's cutting into my margin, like my 40, 30 grand profit margin.
Yeah,
you're accounting for everything, like every little nickel and dime.
I guess that's my luxury. I guess.
So
I don't understand that perspective.
yeah, so I think that might be why because you guys started in the land space and you guys have always been kind of doing, larger acreage stuff. So I think that's probably why you haven't noticed it. Is just.
So here's the funny part. So we're dealing right now with a deal. We're getting a survey done. Survey with the original person that the wholesaler contracted to do the survey was like $9,500. He got sent to prison or something. The main surveyor, like, oh, we'll get it done by your date, but we let him have like a week or two. I'm like, hey, you still gonna be done by the date? They just told us right now, like we're like a week and a half from close. We're not gonna be done by your date. All right, you're fired. Hire the new guy. The new guy's $15,000. He's 50% more than what we were originally gonna pay, but he said he can complete it in 2 weeks. Boom, you're hired. Because it's all about speed for me. Even though he's 50% more, hey, it's cost doing business. If I can close this thing in 2 weeks, let's go. Let's run it.
Right.
And I mean, $5,000, a house person would be like, we can't do that.
100%. 100%. A 50% increase there is, that's large. That's super large. Even for infill lots, like if you think about infill lots, like they'll say the same thing. Like I've sold infill lots too, where they're like, this policy, the title policy is too much. Like they're charging too much for the policy. I'm like, is it really like you're buying a $50,000 lot? Like, is it that? I guess that's not my game. I stay away from it. That's it. But
teach their own.
Yeah.
I don't nickel and dime it. It is what it is. It's the cost of doing business, and sometimes you got to pay the price to get it done right, or else you don't get it done at all.
100%.
I guess that's the moral of the story.
Title company's a great business, though. It's a great business model. Like, and they're worth their weight in gold.
They're worth their weight in gold.
Like a good title company, you don't let go of. You just don't do it.
They're worth their weight in gold. I love my title company, and I will forever use them because they've saved deals for us. They prevented deals with us, and whatever they charge is whatever they charge.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's like almost like an attorney representing you, and
exactly. It's almost like an attorney. I think
they have your best interest at heart. So.
They have your best interest at heart, and it costs a big retainer. It costs a big retainer. It is what it is.
And the fact that you're able to communicate with them freely about what you're doing with the transaction, especially as a wholesaler. So you have to think about it as like a wholesale perspective. Like, if you're the one wholesaling the lot, you want to control title. My first ever deal, I let the seller choose title. And then when I signed it, they said, well, we've never done an assignment before. And I said,
oh no.
I had a transaction coordinator on the deal, and she goes, well, we either switch title companies or I teach you guys how to do an assignment. And this is another thing. Good transaction coordinators will save deals too, and they'll actually catch title mistakes. So good transaction coordinators, they're worth their weight in gold as well. And, $350, $500 a transaction, and they'll save you a world of headache.
Your team is very important in this business. Very, very important. I guess we'll end it there. But your team is very, very important across all this, from the transaction coordinator to your title rep, even to your agent. I hate how many times we deal with fucking terrible agents.
All the time.
All the time.
All the time. And they're holding their sellers back from making their money. If they
Absolutely.
want to sell the property, most of the time, it's the agent that's holding them back. So
Find good people to work with and do business with them forever is the moral of the story.
figure out what they want. Figure out what they want. Just like the most recent lead that we're locking up on Monday. I figured out what she wanted. She was working with her family. She didn't want anyone else involved in the transaction. So I said, represent both sides. Let's keep it simple. And she was like, all right. And then she was like, Kyle, we're not working with anyone else but you.
There you go. There you go. Thanks for listening in, guys. This has been a deal breakdown / Hive Mind After Dark episode. We'll see you next time. Thanks, Kyle.
Yes, sir.
Hey, if you have any deals you'd like to submit to the Hive Mind and our team, go to hivebc.io. It's actually the Hive Buyers Club. Submit your deals and we can hopefully dispose your deal for you. Have a great day.